Good morning, everybody. I'm Kendis Gibson in New York City's Times Square. It is a morning after what many expected would be a huge blizzard here in New York City. It did not turn out to be that way, thankfully. Take a look around New York's Times Square right now. You can see the city is slowly but surely coming back to life. Of course, for much of the last 12 hours and much of the last 9 hours, for that matter, there was a travel ban from 11 o'clock until 7:30 this morning. There was a ban on travel throughout New York City for any vehicles that were not emergency vehicles. That was lifted at 7:30 this morning after officials realized that it wasn't all that bad after all. We'll take a look around the Times Square right now and you will see the situation. They've done a really good job of clearing much of the roads throughout Times Square, and for that matter, much of Manhattan. I've been walking around from 42nd Street, which was fairly deserted this morning, I'll tell you. And not only were there nobody there was also few cars were actually on the roads and few people actually walking around. But the good thing is, as I mentioned, the roads were cleared. Throughout the night, I could hear many of the plows going through and making sure that the roads were clear ahead of time. New York City on a whole had some 2,000 plus vehicles, plow trucks, that were making sure that the roads are cleared, at least in the city and throughout many of the boroughs. There were a lot of people who had decided not to come out earlier today. I had some photos that I posted on my social media on Facebook and on Twitter showing 42nd Street completely deserted. It's very rare to be able to see that. The New York City subway system back to normal. At least it's on a weekend schedule right now, about 60% of what it normally is Monday through Friday, but it is slowly coming back, and so is the case with other mass transit throughout the other parts of this area right now. I'm standing in the Times Square 42nd Street subway stop, and on any given day this is the busiest subway stop in all of New York City. And today, take a look. You'll see not a soul at the turnstile. On most days this would be bustling. You'd see a whole lot of tourists going in and out, as well as people going to work and trying to make their way through these turnstiles, but not the case. The subway reopened just about an hour ago. You can take a look here at the signs and you can see that service seems to be moving through this area with trains coming every 3 or 4 minutes, but so far not a lot of people have actually taken to the subway as yet. It is expected by noon today to get to about 60% service. That's usually what it would be like on a Sunday or a Saturday for the New York City subway system. So that's the story here in New York. We're going to continue to walk around and see how the city is recovering. The snow totals, by the way, I'm being told in New York City's in Central Park, about 7.8 inches. At LaGuardia Airport, a little bit more, 11 inches. And of course on Long Island, it's really worse. But here, so far, so good. That's the story from New York City's Times Square. Kendis Gibson, ABC News, New York.